this to work. Yeah. Start the stream.
Okay. Well, I've got nothing to press, to be honest.
We're officially live, Elite.
Are we? So if we talk now, people can hear us.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
evening.
Well, welcome to another episode of G.I.P pod. Are we gonna get called it G.I.P or are we gonna go
G.I.P
G.I.P?
podcast sounds
G.I.P.
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 podcast.
G.I.P podcast episode 47. Thank you all for joining us once more, and with the co-hosts Ashtray Gaming and Red Dead Panda. Hello, guys.
Morning. How are we?
We're doing good. How are you doing? Everyone good?
Yeah.
Have you having? So what you guys been playing? Come on, let's get this out of the way first.
Red,
What
you
been
go
up to?
for it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that direction. There's no sass in there at all. No. I have been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I have been playing Halo as per usual, that's Halo multiplayer. I also started playing Tunic because I played the demo, really enjoyed it, and started playing that. That's so different. We'll talk about it later, but it's so different from the demo of what we played, so I like that fact, that it's different. But yeah, that's sort of what I've been up to. I'm going to try and play some Shredders at some point. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not what I expected in a good way. Like, I'm so thoroughly enjoying the dynamic of that game, like the characters, story so far, gameplay. Yeah, I'm so glad it's on Game Pass. Yeah, but that's about it. I've also been water blasting like my house area, which is pressure washing for those
Right,
guys.
can we just no, don't say what it is. Chat. Does anyone know what water blasting is? Has anyone heard of water blasting?
If you're a Kiwi, you have, okay?
We've got Coral in the chat now. Coral, is water blasting a real thing, or is it just?
Am I making it up?
No.
My
Yeah.
twin is in the chat, yes, and water blasting is a thing. Good morning,
It's
Coral.
a
Love
sexual
you.
thing.
Love you very much. So, okay. But yeah, Ashtray, what have you been up to? What games have you been playing this week?
I've been all over the place as always. A little bit of Fortnite as usual, which I like to dabble in. Halo multiplayer, which we played last night at Community Games Night.
Yep.
I've played some Tunic as well. I've played some Shredders. I've been playing GTA 5. I didn't pay for it. I used my Microsoft points
Yeah.
to get it.
Yep.
I just want to get the achievements and play through the campaign again real quick. So I'm not really interested in doing the side missions on that. It runs at 60. It doesn't really, in my eyes, look really any better. The 60 obviously helps, but the controls and everything's all exactly the same. So there's no improvements there. And they're dated. I mean, the game is, what, 9 years old or something like that. So you can tell that they need to improve that, hopefully in GTA 6, and get it more modern and things like that.
Tryhard said no
yeah,
idea.
so I've just been jumping.
Sorry, go Ashtray.
No idea what water blasting is.
No, water blasting is. Oh, my sister said she loves me too. Oh.
Aww. So yeah, so I've been sort of jumping around on everything.
Well,
What about you, Elite? What have you been playing, man?
Well, I'm downloading. I've been playing Hunt Showdown. I've been really getting into that. I made a new mate. I've got a new friend. We've been playing Hunt Showdown and killing people. We're doing real well, actually. If anyone's not played it, play it. It's a really good fun game. It's made by Crytek, who made Rise, Son of Rome. It's very atmospheric. Imagine crossing Red Dead Redemption with Silent Hill, and you sort of get an idea of sort of the atmosphere in the game. And I'm downloading Guardians of the Galaxy, Shredder, and Tunic as well. Yeah, so I mean, Tunic's doing quite well for itself actually, but we'll go into that later. I think that's one of our topics.
yes, and other Zinc says I know what water blasting is. It's pressure washing in the States. Yes, it is. It's just what we called it here. So they just give me so much
He Googled
crap.
that.
They give me so
Yeah,
much
definitely
crap.
googled, or you message him.
But yeah, just a reminder to everyone in the chat, if you do want us to read out a question or anything like that, specifically if you write the word super chat at the beginning of it, then we will know to do that. I've already asked Pete if he joins us, G.I.P, to put a chat in just for Elite. So hopefully he joins us and does that. And also just pop in the chat what you guys have been playing this week, because it's always nice to have you guys in. And good morning, Grey Monad, Other Zinc, Shizno Elite, Tryhard Fan, etc., etc., and everyone else who joins in. Even Wild Horse 74 is in. Yeah, welcome everybody.
Nay.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got a very active Grey Money. We've got a massive chat today. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate the support. So, shall we? Oh, go on. Sorry,
I
what
was
did you
just going
say?
to ask, Astro, did you neigh? Are you that much of a pony now that you neighed? No, I'm kidding.
Yep. Yep. Facts.
Let's get into it. Yes, start us off.
There's a super chat. There's a super chat in there already.
Oh yeah. Super chat by Astro. Why is Elite such a fraud? Elite, that is a question to you. Why are you such a fraud?
But a handsome fraud.
I think you. It doesn't. Maybe. Nah. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna pass on that.
Nah, yeah, you're gonna say nah, yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, nah, yeah, nah. Right. Should we get going then?
Yeah,
Indeed
let's
we
get
shall.
into this.
Indeed. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Are you all sitting comfortably?
You can do it.
On the edge of my seat, hanging off every
Topic number
word.
one. That was actually me doing that. There wasn't some sort of sound thing.
That's because you're
Right,
a fraud. You couldn't afford someone to do that.
Yeah. I paid some man. He's gone there. State of the... Right. So topic number 1 is State of the Initiative and Perfect Dark in question over huge turnover in important roles.
Yes.
So that's our first title of today's topic. Yes, obviously everyone knows about this. Everybody that's on Twitter. There's been some people leaving the initiative recently. Well, not really recently. It's over the course of a year. And, yeah, so people have just been leaving over the course of a year, as opposed to that's what some websites stated. I think I've only seen that website actually bring it up and mention it. And all the information they've got is just based on LinkedIn, isn't it?
And insiders talking. I mean, have you
And
guys?
insiders.
Yeah, insiders of talking.
Like Crack Gamer.
Like around.
Those kind of insiders.
I think what is it about 36 people? Was it 36 or more than 36 people have left in the last 12 months? So they've now got like less than 50 people working there. But like, what is your thoughts on what this means for the actual studio and even the game, Ashtray? What are your thoughts on that?
It is interesting that there's been quite a few departures, isn't it? As part of the article, it says that it's very sort of top down.
Yep.
And that, any business in any type of sector, if the high level people are either micromanagers, way too tough, or they're just toxic, it filters down through the rest of it. So it's interesting. I've read through the article. I don't know, has someone might be aware, has Xbox or Phil Spencer or anyone actually commented on this at all? Because I haven't seen any, and that's interesting too, because if it wasn't true, I would have a strong feeling that Phil would probably come out and say something about it. If
Based
it's
on
not
their past history.
yeah, like if it's something that's like, if this was just made up and fabricated, they'd come out and say, look, this isn't true, we're doing well, this is happening, those people were contracted or something. They would sort of damage control it or whatever. Or if it is true, you would think that they would address it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, for people, it can be concerning, and I know some people are concerned about it. For me, it is a little bit of a worry. There's this build up to this, quadruple A quote unquote studio, and all these people are leaving. Were they just contracted for a year? See, this is the thing we don't know.
Yeah.
Were they just on yearly contracts and they get, this is pie in the sky type of thinking, but, and they get a new team in every couple of years to get fresh ideas and fresh thoughts in and stuff. I doubt it, but, we don't know. And that's the thing. And they're radio silent on it, which then leads to me thinking, well, hang on, there is a problem. And, they must be working on it internally. Phil must be over there saying, guys, what's going on here? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for Perfect Dark? Well, we don't know how much they really, since the initiative started and since they started development of the game, we don't really know how much their involvement is with it now, knowing that Crystal Dynamics is sort of taken over, making the rest of the game. So they might be sitting around going, well, we've got nothing to do. And that's why people are leaving as well. So, if Crystal Dynamics is making it, then it's kind of still being worked on. As opposed to the initiative side of things, which seems to be more of like a brains trust to put ideas and main concepts and maybe even mechanics and stuff together and then hand it off to someone else, which is what it sort of seems to look like.
Seems to look like that. What do you think that means for Perfect Dark? Do you think we're going to get a delay based on this? Or, I mean, there's no actual announcement for a release date as of yet. So
yeah, you can't.
People are screaming bloody murder.
You can't delay a game that hasn't been given a release date. So everyone's speculated. I think most people have speculated 2023 for it. We will see. Again, if Crystal Dynamics is working on it, then departures from the initiative doesn't mean that there's departures from Crystal Dynamics. So the game still could be well in advance and still being worked on without any issues or hiccups or delays. So I still think that the game's at a point where we'll see it
next year.
I'm still kind of thinking maybe back end of 23, early 24.
I agree with you.
I just hope it's a good game, honestly.
I do too.
That's really all I want. It's just a game that looks good and plays well. So we'll see. Time will tell.
I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate. I think it's been a bit blown out of proportion. My things that ring red flags. No, things with red flags is one. It's only this one site that's reporting on it, and two, it's a lot of it's just based on LinkedIn. Just people leaving. As you sort of touched on before, they could have just recruited these people for a year anyway, just to do a job, and then they're just returning or just leaving. Because I think it dramatises them saying they quit, but I think quit's a strong word. They could have just left, or their contract could have just ended. I don't think it's a case where it's like, I've had enough, I quit, and just threw the towel in and just stormed out the door. I think the word quit is a strong word, or just a word that can be easily sort of
misconstrued.
Yeah, exactly. They could have just, as I said, they could have just be doing a task. Yeah. And bear in mind, a lot of these ones that are leaving are ones that come from Sony Studios in the first place, and they're just returning back to Sony Studios in a way. So, and this was during sort of COVID, so they could have left projects that was working on for Sony. Those projects are finished. They bounced over to the initiative, worked on those projects, finished those, and then bounced back to Sony. It could be that. They could be insiders. They could be doing what's his face done the other day for Activision, where he was sort of an insider, wasn't he? What's his face? Can't remember his face now. But I think I am not going to read too much into it yet until I hear
we know what's
someone,
going on.
Yeah, some form of management actually mention it and say something about it. I think Other Zinc said Daryl Gallagher addressed it. He said they are not radio silent. Daryl Gallagher addressed this. 34 employees were cut to 330. Were cut. 330 plus developers were hired as planned in September 2021. There's nothing to see. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So
I think.
Okay, well, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Okay. Also, the thing you've got to take into account that the initiative were only 70 people.
Yeah.
And then people jumping on the bandwagon, they're getting Crystal Dynamics, they're in trouble. Well, no, there's 70 people. They literally formed 2 years ago. You couldn't expect a team that formed just 2 years ago with just 70 people just to hit the ground running, which is what they wanted to do. They wanted to literally hit the ground running, but you couldn't expect a brand new team, never met before or never sort of worked together before, only send them to create a AAA game and throw it out within a few years. They recruited, and this happens a lot in business. The company I'm doing, you do it. You'll be subcontract to a company, and the big company won't do the work themselves. They will sort of manage the job, but they will get subcontracting teams that are equal size or equally as good, but just specialised in a subject, to take over and just run that part of the thing. Even though they still lead it, they will just run part of the show. And I think it's pretty much a case of that, really. That's what Crystal Dynamics' job is. And I was always under the impression, in a way, when Initiative was formed, was their job, because they're so small and specialist, their job was to start projects, get a AAA studio in to finish off the project, while they then bounce onto another project and get that going, just to keep a continuous stream of games.
That, or and possibly the studio's going to slowly build out as they build their culture and as they build their ways of working properly. Because like even that
could be that as well.
they're so new that that's still something that they're coming to terms with. But I really. People talking about how Xbox might be being too hands-off around this. I really don't think. I think Matt Booty is really taking charge and is informing Phil Spencer of what's going on every step of the way when they're doing the check-ins. And I don't think Crystal Dynamics would have been brought on without their sort of say of like, this is okay, this is the intention type thing. And they're like, yes. So I think they were very deliberate with what they're doing with the initiative. I still don't think it's a good look. Like, it is not a good look to see that many devs leaving. But so as a PR standpoint, it's not a good look. But I think until we actually hear more around what's going on, and like others put in the chat, we were talking about this last year about how when Crystal Dynamics got brought on, that the intention was to kind of get everyone up and running, get the game up and running, get it into the state that they want it, and then go and build it out. And yes, obviously Crystal Dynamics is going to make changes through development. That's what happens. You're like, we want to achieve this goal, and then they realize it's maybe not feasible, so they find another way to achieve the goal that they're wanting to do. But for all the people who are like saying the initiative is dead, Perfect Dark is dead, grow up. It's not dead until it's dead, and at this point, we don't know enough around it. Stop making fun of my accent. I can hear it. I'm leaving the stream. I'm just cutting it.
I've heard enough. Rage quit.
I don't get paid enough for this shit. No, I'm kidding. I don't get paid at all. Okay. No, but yeah, it's interesting. That people are losing their minds, and just the amount of speculation and the amount of people acting like the sky is falling over this just makes me laugh. Yeah, I mean, I am a little concerned, but I'm only concerned because I guess it would be nice to understand like why some of the bigger important people were leaving their roles. Maybe like they're talking about it wasn't exactly the culture and climate that they were expecting coming from other studios. But again, like if it was always intended just to get them up and running and then bring on Crystal Dynamics, as long as we get a good game and there's no crunch and everyone's happy at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not a developer. Exactly. I don't deal with game development. I'm happy just to play a game and enjoy a game and support the devs that way and pay for a game where possible. Obviously, I only paid like $15 or $20 for Guardians of the Galaxy this month. I'm still supporting the devs.
Yeah.
Right.
I support devs by doxing them and sending death threats.
Oh, yeah. That sounds exactly like you. Definitely exactly like you. But yeah, it's just getting to the point where this is just turning into rubbish at this point. I think we should just hold it. I just want to say thanks to everyone that's still here. Thank you for staying with us for 8 minutes. And now, what's his face? I have a thing for midgets. I just want to get that out there. He says, and so does other Zink says the stream's running excellent. The sounds, everything sounds really great. So, yeah, perfect,
great,
thank
excellent.
You.
Let's go. So I was going to say something else, but I forgot. So let's move on.
All right.
Unless you've got anything else to say,
no.
Mr. Ashtray.
Yeah, do you?
No, all good.
Well,
happy to move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
PlayStation state of what? Go on.
You're good.
Oh,
I'm gonna cough.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
PlayStation State of Play Hogwarts Legacy and releasing holiday 2022.
Yes.
Did you guys catch this?
I did.
Do you want to leave with it, Ashtray?
PlayStation exclusive?
It is. I'm thinking of buying a PlayStation 5 for this game.
Yep, so am I.
Because it's going to destroy Starfield.
I wouldn't buy a PlayStation 5 for God of War or Horizon Forbidden West, but I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 for the exclusive third-party game that is Hogwarts Legacy.
Because apparently you may or may not get an extra character, just like they got in the Spider-Man in the Avengers.
Spider-Man in the
Now that turn out, yeah. Is he actually did they drop Spider-Man in the Avengers game for PlayStation yet?
Yeah, but let's get back on the topic.
Yeah, ages ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I always wondered if they did that.
Okay.
Got him.
Go on. Did you watch
so
this?
anyway, as I was saying, I checked out the trailer, And it's pretty big scope in my opinion.
Yeah.
To me, it actually looks very much in depth. You've got your classes where you learn spells and things like that. Obviously, you sort of get to practice them throughout the game. You've got puzzles. There's obviously combat. You use those skills. You've got companions, which can also, assist you and teach you different skills. You know what, man? As soon as I saw the fact that you can actually jump on that broomstick and fly around the place, I was like, yeah, that's pretty
me.
cool.
I'm done. Yep.
That's pretty cool. Like, so it's to me, from what they've shown, it's a pretty large scope game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of
Massive.
those games that's going to be like at least 150 200 hours. That's obviously completing all the different tasks and puzzles and things like that. The graphics look good. It looked like it was running in 60, which is pretty damn awesome. It's made by Avalanche, which is a Warner Brothers studio, so we know it's third party. And they make really good games.
Sorry, just to cut in there, they're making quite a few games. Aren't they working on Indiana Jones as well at the moment?
No.
That's
not
Or
Avalanche,
is it Contraband? I'm sure they're working on something else at the moment, aren't they, for Xbox?
Indiana
which is
Jones
exclusive.
is Bethesda. Like it's one of the ZeniMax.
One of their side ones.
Yeah.
Or is that ID or something it's called? Then who's making Contraband? I'm sure Avalanche are making the game for Xbox. Chat, can anyone answer this? I'm sure Avalanche are making an exclusive game for Xbox.
Because I know that they're
I think it might be.
got more than one team, so it could be
Yeah.
Avalanche. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in there because I've heard about Avalanche and they do make good games.
Do you know why you've
And I
heard
knew
of
they was
Avalanche?
making something for.
Because you've been playing Shredders, right?
Yeah. Shredder.
Anyway, sorry, what were
Go
you
on.
saying, Ashtray?
Go on, Ashtray.
Look, yeah, I was pretty much sort
Done.
of finished there, but yeah, look, I'm excited by the scope of it. It's a game that looks pretty good for me. It might be, I don't know how technical I'll run into all of the bits and pieces, but to your point, Avalanche is doing Contraband, so
Is
they're
it?
assisting with that. Yeah, so
And that's exclusive
Pretty
to
cool,
Xbox. Boom.
Well, just
indeed.
for those who didn't watch the stream, and if you didn't, please do. If you're a Harry Potter fan or you're a fan of just the wizarding world that J.K. Rowling set up, obviously no one really talks about her anymore. But it's set in the 1800s, so it's
What?
a prequel to everything that we've watched so far about the Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter and all of that. And you're like a fifth-year student, and you're like jumping in and playing catch up. So you get to brew potions and like what Ashtray said, like fly around on your broomstick. There'll be magical beasts, and you'll be like dueling other wizards while working out like investigating mysteries throughout your time in the game. So I think for what it is, you're right. It does look very vast, and the scope of it looks quite large. It also looks like they have taken their time and really, really, really got down to the nitty-gritty around that world and the lore and so on and so forth. Because, like, if you half-ass this game, it's going to be dead on arrival, basically. And you can't... The IP is so loved and just recognized worldwide. I mean, there's some people who don't care for it, obviously. They're not fans of the movies or the books or anything. But I just looked at that, I'm like, keen. But yeah, I have to get a PlayStation 5 to play it, apparently. So yeah, I'm a bit sad about that. Keen. Yeah. And but do you know it's been announced for holiday 2022, so I guess I won't be able to play Starfield because I'll be too busy playing this game. This is the Starfield.
We can only ever
trailer,
play
right?
one game.
Yeah, Starfield.
Yeah.
What's that quick resume feature on Xbox for then? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that feature is.
So we know it's multi-platform, but is it going to be on the old systems, the PS4 and the Xbox One?
I don't think so. I hope not. I actually haven't checked that out. Oh, it might be. I hope not. I really don't want it to be. Does anyone know the answer?
If it is, it's going to look pretty janky, and it'll only run at 30, so I don't know. But
Hey,
yeah,
but they'll be...
someone in the chat will probably know.
Yep, someone in the chat. Is it going out to any of the other platforms? I'm super excited, and this was probably the first state of play I've actually enjoyed in like over 2 years.
A multi-plat game.
And it's a multiplayer.
People seem to forget that marketing rights exist, and marketing rights means it's exclusive. You remember what we ran into with Destiny last gen,
Yeah, the
where
fake
everyone
marketing for
thought it
Destiny.
was exclusive to PlayStation, even though you could play it day one on Xbox. But like, it's like The Witcher has been, and CD Projekt Red has been basically exclusive with marketing rights for Xbox, even with with Cyberpunk and that. So marketing rights, yes, they do help, but really do your research. That's really important. Don't just fall into this fanboy nonsense. The amount of tweets on Twitter where people are like exclusive, and then people were just putting in the chat, like commenting with a photo going, "It coming to Xbox as well." I was like, damn, stop trying to win this war for yourself, for your little plastic box, when you can easily just realize that your argument is for a 2-year-old.
Can I pipe in now?
No, you can't. I'm going to keep talking for the next half an hour.
I have no interest in. I have no interest in Harry Potter whatsoever. I think the books.
I'm stopping the stream. That's it. We're done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm leaving the
I don't know how much I can say without offending everyone on the planet. I thought the books were lazy, and the films were really awful. It was like watching. I don't know. It's like watching like a really bad American sitcom kind of thing. You know, like I don't know. Like, you guys are not English, so you wouldn't know what Grange Hill is. But it's like watching, I don't know, Neighbours. The big old Neighbours. It'd be like watching. It's like watching Neighbours.
You mean when you can't listen to? Like, I can't watch some of the crap in New Zealand because I'm like, it just sounds too fake.
And I just thought the films like that, and a lot of it didn't make sense. It's all based around Harry Potter. But you know, whatever you watch, he's a crap wizard. I'm sorry, but he's a crap wizard.
This isn't about Harry Potter. This is you're creating your wizard or witch, and
I'm on about okay.
So
fair point there, the game is, but the movies were crap.
The crap wizard.
Yeah, he's crap.
Shit at everything.
Yes.
Oh my glasses, y'all.
You should do 10, 9. Like you should do the voiceover for the countdown for
He walks with a limp.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Oh,
anyway, boys. I just don't like the films, and
tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, and the books. Yeah, and unlike Red, I probably like J.K. Rowling more than the films and the books.
So you like her, but she's been cancelled.
Yeah, why did she get cancelled?
Well, I don't want to go into it, but she got cancelled for some sort of phobic.
She did stop DMing me.
She did? Oh, yeah. Probably because you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, exactly.
I sent her some pictures of me in a string vest, and she stopped messaging me.
Chat, can you all just type for me? Press 1 if you think Elite's a fraud in the chat, please. If you think
fuck you. Used to watch Grange Hill as a kid, see? And you understand what I'm on about now, fuck. It reminded me of Grange Hill watching Harry Potter's. It was awful. It was. Ready for this ashtray? It was shit.
They're good. They're nice.
Okay.
So good.
But let's talk about a good game now. Tunic.
Which you haven't even played yet. So what are you talking
about?
I'm still downloading it. Have you seen the ratings? It really upset a lot of fanboys on Twitter because it was a rating 80, and there's all making a joke about it, saying it's trash because it's 80. Because remember, 80's trash again. But it went back up to 85, didn't it? Because one of the review scores, the negative review score it got, which is a 4.10, which is really weird and random and stupid anyway, was for the PC, not for Xbox, and they accidentally put it onto the Xbox rating somehow. So they've moved it over to the PC rating now. So the PC rating's gone down.
So
the Xbox rating's gone up to 85. So it's rated 85, everyone, if you care about Metacritic.
Honestly, why the hell did Metacritic not follow what OpenCritic does and put all of when a game is multiplat, put everyone's reviews together and get an aggregated score as a result? Because
there was a reason for that, and we know what that reason is.
Fanboys?
Because the people can pick and choose what ones they want to include. Like you can hold back. You get all the reviews going to sort of a holding area, don't you? And the companies actually pick what ones they want to release. Yeah, that's what they were saying about Sony. Sony were only picking them. That's why they blacklisted Thingy, didn't they? What's his face, Steve Iver. They've been moaning at him again. He gave GT7 a 7 out of 5, and they've been complaining at him about it.
7 out of 5.
I mean, 7 out of 5. No, 7.5. Sorry, guys, I'm on the JD and Cokes.
Your math,
7.5. Yeah, I went to the same school as Fresh. 7.5. It gave it a
elite
7.5.
Oh my god. That was a low blow, man.
Shit.
That's some funny
Okay.
stuff.
So,
Stuff.
Astray, have you played Tunic?
I have dabbled in this game. Yes, I've only probably put about an hour and a half in there.
I don't know.
More than
I
me.
need to get some more playtime. It's not a game that I'd normally play. So I didn't grow up playing Nintendo games much, and playing those Zelda games. I was the Sega boy, so Sonic and all that kind of stuff. No, real gamer. So I like the art style. The art style is really good. When you die, or when I started, I've got some footage of it that I go. I tend to just go off on my own beaten path. And I found within the first couple of minutes a big golden door.
Yep.
It opened for me, and I was like, okay, cool. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this yet. And then I went into some really wacky, almost like space area. And then I just followed a path, and it was just weird for me. I found it kind of strange. So I was happy to get back to the main sort of part of the game and
Just get back on the path.
Yeah,
it doesn't hold your hand at all.
No, but I didn't even know what that was about. I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too dense, to understand. But yeah, so I've actually got to a point. I haven't got a shield yet, but I've got the sword because I was using a stick to start off with, a stick, and
You're stuck in the
stuck.
mud. a stick. You were using a stick.
Quite hard to
yeah.
fraud.
Yeah. And so I'm having fun with it. The enemies aren't easy. So you just got to watch for their timing and just adjust your playstyle accordingly.
Yeah.
A bit of fun. I like that kind of thing where you sort of just roam around. It kind of reminds me a tiny bit of River Bond in terms of just that sort of traveling around and that sort of 2.5D angle. And you sort of just go from area to area and sort of just complete tasks and find things and
Animal
open
Crossing.
chests and stuff like that.
I
So
want to put this game into scope.
I'm enjoying it.
Scope for people who are trashing it and saying that we are just capping for the game, as Xbox gamers always do and PC gamers apparently always do. That's all we do. Is this game was
Who's saying this? I want names.
Oh, just go to Twitter. You'll
Gary,
find them. I know.
Dave,
Their names
Richard.
are irrelevant
I'm
at
all
this point.
blocked.
Elite. Yeah, that's one of them too. No.
No.
But like
There's a lot of players fanboys saying we're capping
there's
for
a
it,
lot.
but
Yeah, fanboys.
following on, they've
toxic
capped from Sifu.
guys, the
Yeah.
toxic ones. But like, this game was basically exclusively made by one developer. It's an indie game, and like the art style is beautiful. Like playing the demo and then just seeing the improvements between the demo and the game itself was actually really nice to see. Like, you don't really usually see that when you see demos come out. They don't really change much, but they definitely did because they didn't want to show certain things and they wanted you to discover it, and they made it hard, which is great. But like, there was like two other developers who helped with like music and other stuff, but it was like exclusively made by one developer. So I think that's really, really awesome. So just kudos, support the developer in this instance, play their game, whether it's releasing day one on Game Pass, which I was super stoked about because I was considering buying this game. I probably will later on, but I'm so glad I get to play it day one on Game Pass. It's just great. The game is amazing. I love it. I've only just I'm up to the bit where I'm trying to get the key to get the shield. So I keep getting my ass handed to me in the game, but I love it. And for anyone who likes Souls-like experiences, please play it. It's that in regards to the difficulty. Like, you will get your ass handed to you time and time again if you do not play it smart. Don't just charge in there with a stick. Get a sword. A stick. Don't just charge in there. But I'm being told off in chat, by the way, for not saying rubbish more. So there's your second rubbish. When I get heated enough, I will say it more for you guys. And then I'll say it in the exact way that you like it. I really need to just have a recording, and then we can just press it whenever you guys need it. Keep morale up.
Indeed.
But Elite, are you looking forward to this game? Because, I heard that you don't like hard games.
I play the hardest games. I play MMOs. That's what I was talking to someone today about. What's it called, Elden Ring, and they're saying how hard it is, and you die a lot, and you have to use your stuff. You have to go and get. I play the MMOs, and that's what happens in Conan. Basically, Conan uses the same sort of duck and roll and attacking swords and combat as Elden Ring, but the only difference is in Conan, if you get killed by another player, he takes your stuff and you have nothing left. And then you have to start the game again. There is no, I'll just go back and pick up my stuff again. It will just stay there. You lose everything. So, I'm used to playing hard stuff. But this, I'm quite interested in this. I'm excited. I did give, what's the other game? Ashen. Remember Ashen?
Yeah,
I did give that a call. Yeah, I gave that a go. And I quite enjoyed that. But it just didn't hold my interest long enough. I'll give Tunic a go. It looks a bit more pleasant, easygoing. It just depends on the controls. If the controls are, I couldn't stand Witcher 3. If the controls are fluid and nice and easy to get into and just sort of pleasant, then I'm fine with the game. But if they're just overly unnecessary, like the UFC games, fucking hell, why'd they make those games stupidly complicated? Then I'll probably just drop it. But it'll be interesting to give it a go. I'll definitely give it a go.
Yeah.
That and Shredders as well, because I'm quite sort of excited to play Shredders, which is also in Game Pass. Everyone,
two games dropped within days of each other.
Yeah, within days. Yeah, didn't even have to wait till November.
And they're completely different genres, and that's the beauty about Game Pass, right?
Yep.
It's a quick tangent. Is the fact that you got options. You've got so many different types of games, different play styles, different artistic game. They're all different, and that's great. And that having something like that gives options to everyone. So, okay, not everyone's going to like Tunic. They might not like the play style, the type of game, but there's thousands or millions of others that will. So it just gives everyone that option to play. It's on Game Pass. It's not going to cost you to download it. So there's no harm, no foul. Try it out if you've got Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's I didn't get paid for that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah. You fraud.
Yeah, the guy. I'm just reading the chat now. Eric's joined us. Welcome, mate. We've got Dauntless Dragon. Welcome as well. There's a debate about Sifu being AAA, but Sifu's not AAA. I mean, you can say like looks AAA. I mean, Hellblade looked AAA, but they're not AAA games. So there is a difference between.
I guess I really just want to point out that not only was Tunic announced through ID at Xbox being day one on Game Pass and coming to PC and wherever else it's going to be, but like 12 other games were also announced at ID at Xbox to also be coming day and date to Game Pass when they release. And I was like, that's awesome. And I think as much as people like to bag on Game Pass, for these developers, it's a great source of income and a great source of expanding your audience. And I think people talk about supporting the devs, but they just seem to just focus on like console war rubbish and those narratives, and then they forget that like even if you're not happy with Game Pass, it is actually benefiting developers in the long run, whether you like to admit it or not. And Tunic is going to see a lot of people playing this game. I've been wanting to play this game since it first showed like a few years ago, and you could understand why it took so long to get out because it was one developer. But like, just grow up. Like at this point, I think people are just so focused on their little plastic boxes, and they say they want to support the devs. They really don't. They really don't. Practice what you preach.
Well,
and
ID at Xbox is an important part of gaming in general, and not every game's going to be a banger. Not every game's going to be good, but it gives independent developers a platform to release their games and have people see it. And if Game Pass can assist in getting that to the masses, then that's really good. The developers. I mean, case in point, Moon Studios with Ori. I mean, what a great franchise that is. What a great game that is. And that's an ID at Xbox game. So it's case in point right there.
Cuphead as well.
It's good. Sorry.
Cuphead didn't all start out, didn't it? ID.
Yep,
yeah.
Cuphead.
Exactly. So, it's amazing what you can get through this program. And hopefully we see more and more.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
We've got 14 viewers at the moment, but only 6 likes. Come on, guys. Just drop a like, please, and drop a sub to the team, to us all.
They probably all
I
sub you.
disliked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't drop dislikes.
Was I meant to dislike it? Oh, sorry, my bad.
Ow.
Elite guy's annoying.
Yeah. His voice
handsome.
grates on me and like. Oh.
But he's got a great smile. I might just do my smile as gameplay for
I
next
might
week.
get an allergic
just
reaction happening because I'm just allergic to all this bullshit. But you know.
Yeah. Oh, but by the way, everyone, if you're feeling nausea, that's because it's Red Dead Panda's gameplay you're watching right now on Tunic.
Well, I mean, it's not really nauseous because it's not really fast paced. But yeah, it is my gameplay, so I just jumped in and made sure I recorded some of this yesterday. Hey, but it beats your gameplay because you don't have any of this game yet.
I'm going to send you gameplay. I'm sending you gameplay. It's coming your way now.
Is it going to be on a VHS? Because I don't have a VHS player anymore.
What? Betamax? Freeze VHS. We're in 2022. Weirdo. The game actually looks a bit like what's the Minecraft Dungeons?
It's very much Zelda meets Dark Souls. That's
Minecraft Dungeons.
I guess you can take Minecraft Dungeons into it, but definitely not quite there yet. But yeah.
Thank you for hitting a like, Shizno. So you guys bored? Do you want to?
Of you, yeah, I'm bored. I'm bored of you. Okay.
Oh, but then it's time to spice things up, my beauties. Sony wants the ex-PlayStation workers harassment lawsuit dismissed.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about this?
Yes.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard
Want
then?
it dismissed, hey? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
You want them to put it up on billboards or anything, would you? Right?
I know.
Well, they're saying...
Yeah, it's a true story, but just can you be quiet about it because it would just ruin us? Here's some money. Here's a PlayStation 5.
They're saying they're taking the allegation very seriously, but they also want this person's specific lawsuit dismissed. But I guess it doesn't really explain about the other 8 women who've joined the lawsuit as a result.
Yeah.
As to what that means, because I think any time you're looking at that, regardless of whether it needs to be taken seriously, if it's managed to fester in your working environment, sometimes it needs to be addressed in a more official capacity. And at this point, they haven't shown that they have that capacity to do it. They haven't really talked about much around it. I mean, Sony hasn't specifically. And I know this is like an ex-PlayStation worker in this instance, but like... we're talking about the environment of the initiative and saying like there was talk around how people couldn't really deal with Daryl Gallagher's work style and how he chooses to run his studio. Because if you've been listening to all the different podcasts, it comes from the top down, and you really have to take a look at that. Like, who's the guy, Bobby Kotick or whatever? Top down as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Activision.
Division.
Yeah, you really need to. You really need to look at who's running the show and decide are they the best fit. You can work internally on it, but I think at this point it needs to be addressed, and the fact that it's come to light is really important because we have a history, like just society has a history of hiding this stuff and not talking about it, and then crap blows up in your face later. If we start talking about this and making it a conversation point, and then we're able to just kind of go, hey, cut that crap out immediately, society will be better for it, regardless of whether you're male or female, your gender, your orientation, the color of your skin. It really needs to be something where you can just openly talk about that crap and that rubbish and get them to shut the fuck up. And get them to.
But why is this being brushed to red? Why is this? Because it is basically being brushed onto the carpet, isn't it? Because it's like this news just popped out in between the news shift stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, this is happening to Sony. Anyway, but the initiative, God, those blighters. It was sort of.
It's different with the initiative around. There's no lawsuit around harassment or anything.
No. So it's not nearly as serious, surely. But yet the Sony thing's being brushed under the carpet, like a lot of their stuff. What the harassment cases.
The reason why it's being dismissed is the lawyer for SIE is stating that a lot of the evidence that this person has supplied in relation to the lawsuit can't actually be proven, and it's sort of more circumstantial and so on and so forth. They're like, can you please provide us actual facts, because the lack of facts around that, so that's what they're pushing back on. And it's like, well, there's not going to be a lot of facts around that, because that's the point of how that goes on. It sort of subtly goes under the radar, and now it's being brought to the top of the radar. Companies need to be made aware of this crap. Absolutely need to be made aware of it, because then they can start working on it. Yes, they've been made aware of it, but it's taken this long and they've had to go to this lengths to get it sorted. Shows that you guys couldn't work on it in-house, so it needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Thoughts? I know we talked about it last week, but I don't think you guys have much to add.
Well, yeah, we talked more about the Activision one, did we, last week?
We talked about this one last week.
This was a topic, but this is just a continuation of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
because now they're coming out to say that they want to.
Squash it,
that they want to do something.
And
but surely the fact that they want to sort of pay them off, kind of thing, surely that shows a guilt, or sort of that they're guilty of something.
Well, they acknowledge it, but I think they're just. I think the mindset.
I don't know.
That's an interesting topic.
It's interesting. We'll see.
Look, either way, we're in 2022, and this shit's still happening. Come on now.
Yeah, but it's basically what we said last week.
Tryhards like, this sort of thing happens everywhere. That's the problem, though. This sort of thing happening everywhere. That's the real problem.
What? Yeah, hang on. What does that mean? It happens everywhere, so it's okay?
Yeah, like it doesn't happen in my company that I work for. We have like a diversity and inclusion forum. We have
shouldn't be normality
policy around it. It shouldn't be the normal. I agree. You should have every right to go to work and be yourself.
Yeah.
And know that you're going to get treated fairly.
Indeed. But yeah, trying to sort of dismiss it's not a good look, in my opinion.
No,
really
that's what I think. I think that's the word.
And do
that's
right
the
thing.
word that rings bells, isn't it? That's the word you're going to remember, and that's sort of why it's news. It's while we're bringing it up, it's because Sony are trying to sort of just brush it aside, and that sort of that's not really. No, it's. I think there's something else going on there. They should have, if they should have at least come out, or they should have some better at PR maybe. Should have come out and addressed it, and then said, look, we're working with the ladies and we're trying to solve this and yada yada yada, rather than going, yep, we're where it happened and we're gonna kind of just shut them up, kind of thing, which doesn't sound good at all. So I think so let's move on to GTA 5 and GTA Online released. Current gen update for PS5 and Xbox Series X consoles. Red, do you want to go into this?
I just thought it was interesting because I have been monitoring, and I will go into this, been monitoring what rubbish people have been spewing on Twitter about how they're happy that the GTA 5 Standard Edition is $10 cheaper than the Xbox Series X edition. And it's like, but I thought you guys were all rich and Xbox gamers were broke.
Powerful.
And you guys are happy to get a $10 discount when we've been talking about the difference between $60 games versus $70 games, obviously in US dollars. But it's like you guys are so, I don't know, these people are so focused on any sort of win. They literally just burn all their bridges and burn every single narrative they've had up until that point just so they can get a win. Like they were telling us, like, if all you need to do is like starve yourself or not buy takeaways or don't get to coffee or something, and that'll pay for that $10 difference for the upgrades. And I'm like, that's how out of touch you guys are, that you forget that not everyone can afford everything in relation to gaming. And then they're so out of touch that they will say, well, gaming's a luxury, and if you can't afford to do it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with them? But like, for them to turn around and go, hey, it's cheaper on the PlayStation 5, you get a $10 discount, and like it's $10 cheaper, they don't hear themselves at all. But it doesn't matter, because like GTA Online is cheaper on Xbox, so they actually work out to be exactly the same in the end. Like you save like $30 on both sides. But there's a discount on the Xbox One for both versions. There's no discount on the GTA Online one. But what are your guys' thoughts around this? Because I just wanted to make that point about the stupidity in the toxic fan babies narrative.
Well, that's what they're all known for.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts is, why does anyone give a fuck about a game that's like a decade old?
Exactly.
Why are we even still talking about this?
Exactly.
I really don't get why this is still being made a big thing on Twitter. I know it sort of gives them a pat on the head because like they think they've got one up on Xbox, but this game's 10 years old. Why don't this game die already? Why are they even still selling it?
GTA
Or trying to just make money from it? It's greedy, really greedy. And every time they sort of publicise it and sort of chat about it and bring it up, it's cringy. I think just stop talking about it. Just let the game die. You will not get a GTA 6 if you just keep going on about it and keep throwing money at them. The game's old and it shows, and it didn't need an upgrade. It just let it move on now. And I just find the company really greedy. What do you think, Ashley?
Pretty and lazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used my Microsoft points, so it didn't cost me anything. So suck on that. And
I will.
the game, ray
Suck
tracing in the
it.
game, in my opinion, is pretty shit. The graphics are not really that much better. In all seriousness, the gameplay is exactly the same. I just thought I'd pick it up to play it. Just to
what
run
it's
through
like.
the campaign. I mean, it only takes like maybe 6 hours just to play straight through the campaign anyway, without doing all the side crap. So I'll just run through it and do that.
Have you looked at it yet? Did it blow your mind? Did you go, wow?
No, not at all.
Nah, that's what I imagine.
Not at all.
It's
Graphics
just a
don't
money
look
grab,
any
isn't it?
better.
Nah, it's a money grab, really.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
stop
there's not
supporting
much
this
to
game,
it. It's
you fools.
It's really just a stopgap, I think, until they bring out 6.
Yeah, just
So
just
we'll
wanna
probably
milk
be in the next
more
year
milk.
or two.
But the game's
pretty
fantastic, incredible. That's why I always find it funny that people keep going, "Oh, Xbox are going to buy out." What is this? Not Rockstar, is it? It's
Take 2.
Take-Two, yeah. Then
Take-Two's
Sony's
the
going to
parent
buy
company.
them. There is no way they would sell to either Sony or Xbox. No
Everyone's got
chance.
a price, but
Yeah,
Sony won't be able
they
to
make
afford
way
it.
too much. They milk and make way too much money from this. They don't. They can remain independent for as long as they need to. So
Well, they've
I mean,
only really got
they
the
can
one
milk.
IP at the moment, though.
Yeah.
What
But
happens
how
if
much money they're
that
making
dies?
from it? It's making millions, isn't it? It's making massive money. It's it's on the level of like Minecraft, isn't it? GTA.
Not quite.
Others
No,
think
but it's-
GTA 5 car models look better than GT 7. Oh, I think you're gonna die on that sword.
That's cool. Yeah, you're gonna die. You're
I
gonna
do
die about 5
appreciate
minutes
the
and try
comment
hard.
there.
Just write a response now.
Yeah, I appreciate the I appreciate the joke comment there.
Yeah. Do you think GTA 5 and GTA 7 is that you can get online for GTA 5?
Even though the ray tracing in GTA 5 is shit, in my opinion, it's actually got it during the game. So that's something better too.
You're such a sicko.
And it
But
runs at 60. It's ray tracing.
yeah.
So he's kind of not wrong.
But yeah, I think that's a funny one.
But talking about Gran Turismo 7, there's been a new patch for it.
Yes.
Um,
God.
Which is yeah. Did you know this? Did you guys know this?
How does it ruin the game now?
It doesn't ruin the game at all, other than you can't play the game. No, a new patch would. That's what happened in it, but we'll get into that in a moment. And a new patch of Gran Turismo 7 has reduced the amount of in-game currency many races reward, thereby making it harder to unlock new cars, even after widespread criticism of the game's microtransactions.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Why would they do this? Why, after all the hate and backlash Halo Infinite gone, why would the Polyphony
Digital.
think Polyphony them? Why would they think they're just gonna do the exact opposite, other than thinking their fan base are so stupidly loyal they will support this whatsoever, which they're doing,
Exactly.
which they're doing. Why? They completely flip flopped on the Halo Infinite. Got a free game with microtransactions is trash, but now they're supporting this. Why is this right?
No idea.
Why is this correct?
Basically, the new patch has reduced like how much they get paid out in certain races, and they've fixed like 2 late game races that people were using to farm credits due to a bug. So that's what they were intentionally doing, was trying to fix a bug that people were using to farm credits. So it's targeting them. However, it's not just targeting them, it's targeting everyone, and you're just making it harder for people to get cars, and people who just, I guess, don't want to buy microtransactions, they're now more likely to buy them as a result, because the microtransactions in that game, they either range from not being expensive to ridiculously fucking expensive. It's absolutely rubbish around that. It's just insane that this is a thing, and I think it just shows that, like, even though you were trying to fix a bug, you didn't have to fucking affect all these other races and impact people's ability to get credits for that. What are your thoughts?
Totally agree. But it's probably a quick fix, and
yeah, it is.
They're probably going to try and find a way to sort of balance it back out again. It's still, like you said, it's still rubbish though. Having microtransactions in a $70 game.
Yep.
Now, what'd you say earlier, Elite? It costs like, if you were to buy everything, it's like $9,000.
2,000, I think. Which I think someone done the
2,000.
calculations when it was all coming up about Halo. I think someone said it was $600, was it, to buy everything in Halo?
I
think someone came out at 6,
maybe, I don't remember.
Or 1,000. Let's just say 1,000 then. But GT7's double that amount, and the game costs £70 on top of that. So, there. What are you going to do?
Crazy.
Well, putting this in perspective,
Hasn't had a good run though, has it?
No.
It's only been out for a couple of weeks, and it's got all these issues. The graphics don't look that great. The cars look okay, but
that's
the rest
GT.
of it, the scenery around it.
I've always said in debates, you can't fault GT for its cars. Car design. The cars do actually look great, but it's everything outside of the cars, the track, the dynamics, and everything has always just not looked good. And I thought what they showed previously in the build up to this game was going to be like another level, and it just wasn't there. And on top of that, the game was £70, and then on top of that, they've thrown in microtransactions again. And then the whole flip-flop on them making the game harder, are sort of almost pushing you to buy more sort of content. And the prices also went up, didn't they? Like they're £40 a car now, isn't it?
Some of them are. But listen, like, some of the cars in Gran Turismo 7 cost 8 times what they did in GT Sport.
Yeah.
Now, hearing that sounds fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, Pyro.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
$40 just to get a car. $40.
Yeah.
Like that's
what I'm saying. Compare it to, and now it makes you wonder. And for one, it makes Defiver's pretty laughing inside, because he rated the game down, and they all had a go at him saying this should be a 10 out of 10 game, and then all this shit happens.
All it does is impact the people who want to play the game and who love
this
the
game
series.
still scored 88, which you can see why now they held all this back until after the reviews are finished, and then they dropped it all
after, right?
After the review, and after the game had been reviewed, then they dropped all this shit, and then they changed it a bit later down the line after the next run of sort of reviews, sort of the ones that didn't get free copies. It's very sly, exceptionally sly, to just drop silently stuff like this. Especially if you've already bought the game for £70 and you just think, right, I'm looking forward to getting this game, and they go, yeah, fucker, we're raising the cost of shit, isn't it? Yeah, get it, well done. And then you're like, fuck. But they've done the same for Gran Turismo Sport, if you remember. Try hard to remember this. When that game came out, they said that there will be no microtransactions, because that was at the time where Forza 7 was getting sort of hammered with bad press about microtransactions, and they took them out, didn't they? Even though I don't think it was really in it. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. But they said they removed all loot boxes and stuff like that. And then GT Sport said, yeah, we're not going to put any of that shit in our game. Just buy a game. We love you so much, players. So people bought the game, and then they said, oh, well, now we're adding microtransactions. Idiots. Yep. And they did it for GT Sport, having publicly said they will not put microtransactions into this game. And I'm sorry, you can't just randomly embed microtransactions into a game. You can't just one day go, yep. let's put them in. The game has to be created with the
Them in mind,
microtransactions. Yeah. So from day one, from the ground up, microtransactions would have been. So they lied blatantly, saying this game will not have microtransactions. For then just to switch the following day, well, not following day, but then I go, yep, now we put them in. You can't do that. They would have. They've lied, and then they've sort of done the same here. Not so much lied because they didn't say they weren't going to put them in, but they've misled, I think, with just shoving them in after the reviews and then raising the price of them as well, which is just awful to see.
It's
and then
sad
go on.
to see. It
Yeah.
is sad to see for their fans, the people who really enjoy that game, feel like I guess they're being mistreated, and that's the annoying thing about microtransaction in games. Like companies, yes, they want to make money, but gamers also have an expectation that they feel like they need to get their money's worth. And at the moment, a lot of games are not doing that, and it's sad to see. Yeah, it is. It's definitely sad to see. Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah. And then we're not finished there. And then recently, what's happened? The servers went down. The game's been down because the game is online only. So the servers were down for an entire day. And I don't think they even. Well, Tryhard could probably talk more of this, but I don't think they even give any reason why. Any reason. They didn't give any explanation. No, nothing. The servers just went down for a day. And I see Tryhard talking on Twitter. I was talking to Tryhard about it on Twitter, and he only assumed that maybe there were some earthquakes in Japan, and that was the reason why. But Sony said nothing. The servers went down, nothing, just quiet for an entire day, and then the servers went back up again. Nothing. And I think that's just incredible. That's just. I think that just shows the difference between Sony and Xbox, and that's what I was going to go on to this whole initiative thing. Actually, people were saying, "Well, we need Xbox needs to come out, Phil needs to come out, they need to say something." If it was a complete other boat, if this is all happening at Naughty Dog or whatever, Sony just say nothing. They would not give a shit. They would not say anything. And I think it's unfair that always Xbox or Phil's put under pressure to say something or do something, whereas Sony are never put under that same pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
But it's true.
It's true because I said it.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, talking about just the world that is. Did anyone watch the Starfield details that came out, the video and like the little bit of gameplay or anything? I mean, there was that second of gameplay. But did anyone watch that? Because I mean, Starfield hype is starting to build more than ever around that.
Hello.
Hi, Astray.
You broke up then. Yeah, you broke up then. You there?
Oh, I am here. Can you hear me?
It died. Everything died for me.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened, but are you guys excited for... Did anyone watch the video around Starfield and the new details emerging around that? There was like a little second of gameplay.
I didn't watch it. Because I think that the day before, I don't know if you guys see, I've released a video about it, with all details about it, and then they've released the extra information. I was like, you cunts. Yeah, imagine doing that. Here's all the information we know, and then the next day there's like, here's some more information that Elite didn't cover. Fuckers. Yeah, so I did actually watch it, but I'm gonna watch it.
Well, that's all right. Everyone watch Elite's video, then go over to mine because then I've got the
you covered that the second part. Watch my video first.
Part one,
the first half, and then watch Ashtray's for the second half.
Yeah.
And just don't bother watching Red Dead's channel. She don't record anything.
I've been too busy doing water blasting. I thought you knew that.
And playing Halo.
Every time you say that, it doesn't get any better.
I know, right? I know. I can't say pressure washing.
busy.
It's just too... My brain actually has to think about it to say it and remember to say that, so you guys understand. Just get used to it.
I'm just too busy speedboating. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Speedboating?
Speedboating, God.
Damn.
Shit.
You're giving me shit.
Yeah, so I watched the video. I quite enjoyed it. The fact that they sort of the whole point of the video, or this is what I took out of it anyway, was the fact that you can attack or jump into this game and do it how you want to do it. There's no set path for you to take. You've got your 4 factions. You can pick which faction you want to be a part of, and you can then basically it's up to you. You choose your own destiny. You choose your own path. They sort of go to the extent where they're saying that, you typically got dialogue sections. You usually got three, options to choose from, and you can sort of generally pick the correct one that you need to pick. But this makes it a bit more open and gives you more of an option and to choose. Now, I don't know if that's going to have any actual impact on the story or anything like that, but the fact that it gives you that freedom to sort of attack and choose your own path is really, really something that I enjoy.
Did you get all that information, Astro, from my video, or did they mention that again?
They mentioned all that from in this video. Yeah, and they actually went as far to say that it's kind of like a sim, which was interesting because they want it to feel like you're actually sort of there and you're part of the world. They use photogrammetry to take shots and images of real world things, and they said that they've done that with the characters as well. So they're trying to make it seem as realistic as possible. So that's kind of really cool. That's really what it was about. It's called The Wanderers or something like that, and it's just to explain that you can just sort of go about it your own way.
Yeah, as not to plug my video game, but I'm gonna, goddamn it. It covers a lot of detail. There's several worlds that you can just explore and go to. Yeah, but each world is the size of a Skyrim map. So you can just imagine the size and complexity of it. And I think there is going to be like a sandbox-esque building thing. I think it was Fallout 4 had it, didn't it? You can sort of build your base and stuff. And then also you can do the same for your ships as well. There's going to have massive customization for your ships and for your character as well. So, and there is going to be space combat, and there is even pirates in the game. So, space pirates.
Yeah.
So,
Crimson Fleet, which I'm probably gonna choose them, or the Space Cowboy type.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of like Firefly type of thing, maybe. Yep. So. Yeah. Corporate, but I think the thing is that because there's no sort of direct story that you have to follow, and you can choose your own way. I think that having 4 factions technically gives you 4 games, and that's kind of cool too. So that
replayability,
Yeah, exactly. Good. They mentioned that, Skyrim and stuff like that's 10 years. People have been playing that game for 10 years. They're sort of envisaging that as well here with this. So spend 200 hours in it as a Crimson Fleet, and then come back to it and play it as one of the corpos or something like that, and have a completely different experience. So it's kind of cool.
I'm excited for it, but I'm also like, know that gameplay is just around the corner, and that's what I really want to see.
E3.
We always did was see that little glimpse of that robot, and I'm like, if that's in-game graphics and such, I'm gonna be happily excited for it, because I do like the art style, and they talk about it, and I don't know, it's just like, I love space adventures. Like, I talk about how much I love Mass Effect, and like I love fantasy, but I also just love space. Like, I love The Expanse, and like I hope it gives me the Expanse vibes as well. And I loved the Outer Worlds, and I'm so looking forward to number 2 for that from Obsidian. So it's gonna be fun. I mean, people are trying to shit on a game that we don't know anything enough about yet. And people are like, where's the gameplay? Where's the gameplay? All we've got is this announcement date and a release date. Well, God of War hasn't shown any gameplay, and it's meant to be coming out this year. Right? Other than the trailer, I think. They haven't actually showed like an extensive breakdown. I think there was like a gameplay trailer last year or something, right? From memory.
Yeah, short gameplay, and that was 6 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is gameplay. I guess it is gameplay when I think about it, so I'll give you guys that.
But the difference between these 2 games, though, is that this is a brand new, massive IP, whereas God of War, the gameplay is pretty much even the mechanics and everything, even the world you live in is sort of copy paste from the last game. So you're not seeing anything new with God of War.
Yeah.
Where this is something absolutely brand new on a brand new engine, next gen only. Remember, not cross gen. So this, we've seen things like God of War and Horizon Forbidden West. This, like Hellblade 2. I think when it does show the graphics and the gameplay, is going to like just blow your mind. I think it's just you're going to see the next level compared to what we've seen so far, just like Hellblade 2 did.
Yeah, I think they're being very deliberate and waiting to release the gameplay
Yeah.
for this. I think
Bethesda are known for showing gameplay
6 months
only
before.
couple of months.
Yeah.
Actual release. So it's nothing new. The people asking for gameplay, oh, we haven't seen anything yet. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, yeah, God of War, we
fuck
know
up.
what to expect there because it's a sequel to the first one, so there's not a big difference there. And I get that people really are hyped for this, but the hype level, they're keeping it like in place because there hasn't been gameplay shown on it. But looking at Bethesda's track record around their games, I think we don't really have to worry about it. I mean, yes, Fallout 76 was a misstep, and we can all see why, but this isn't Fallout 76. It's brand new IP.
They finished this game over a year ago. They've been using the last 12 months to polish it up. They even said they went back. If the video, they sort of said that they spent more time fleshing out more sort of detail, the character customization and stuff like that. So the game's been finished. They've been working on it for a long time, and I'll be surprised if it's got bugs or massive game breaking bugs in it at this point.
And it shouldn't really
Wild
have
Horse,
to
I don't
be
think
when
it will
it's
be
being
delayed, no.
built for current gen only, because there's a lot less bottlenecks, and maybe they were building in some of the enabling some of the feature set available through RDNA 2 as well. I hope that that's what they've also been working out within the last year. That would be really cool to see what's happening around that, to really take advantage of these current gen systems and take advantage of all the newer GPUs and CPUs available on the PC side as well. That's going to be cool.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
100%.
So as long as it doesn't turn out to be a cyberpunk sort of flop, promise everything and then deliver nothing.
I don't think Todd Howard worked on Fallout 76, did he? I don't think that was his thing.
No.
I think it was another. No, I don't believe he did. I think he was working on this. I think that's what he's been working on. And if you watch my video, everyone, they're using like real world sort of gravity and physics and that, isn't it, into the game? And it's going to be if anyone's played Elite Dangerous, it's going to be much like that. If you can converge Elite Dangerous, Mass Effect, and as you said, probably Outer Worlds into a game, I think that's the closest you're going to get to this. And so there, so smell it. Also, it's gonna be. If anyone's wondering, it's gonna be. Give it a name. What's it called? It's called NASA Punk. That's what it is. It's their new style of game. It's called NASA Punk. Apparently, have you heard that? No. So it's gonna be kind of like steampunk, but NASA Punk. So it'd be like real world NASA. It's almost like it's meant to be sort of in our future, but exaggerated a bit. And I think that's why they call it NASA Punk. So imagine NASA, but a bit more, I don't know, futuristic. And that's what they're going with. But you'd notice if you watch my video, Ashtray.
You have a channel? Shit.
My channel has videos on it.
Not just a toxic PlayStation expert who just sits on Twitter and like goes after everyone. You have a channel? What is this?
I do that as well, but I also have a channel where I actually make videos.
He admitted he's a fraud and he's a toxic Xbox fan, baby.
I'm all of.
He makes videos, so it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm just
toxic. That's the thing. No.
In a nutshell, total power.
All right. Well, I guess we're heading over to our final topic for the show. I mean, if anyone wants to put any questions in the chat or anything like that for us, please do so. But like, Xbox was the second best-selling console in terms of units sold and dollar sales. So that means that PlayStation came in third.
Xbox One, the end.
Yeah, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo came in first as per usual. They just annihilate everyone. That Switch just sells like anything. But it's nice to see that I guess it's to do with availability. It's nice to see that Xbox is selling well. Whether you're getting a Series S or a Series X, doesn't matter. You're part of the Xbox ecosystem. And for those who love to use metrics around sales and blah, 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 I think it's fair that we can talk to this and kind of shut another narrative down, because I think the narratives are just getting old and stale to the point where I'm just like, I don't have time for it. Like, you guys are wasting your breath at this point. Play some games, not Twitter.
That's a
But
bit
yeah,
harsh.
what are your guys' thoughts on Xbox doing this? Because this was for the month of February. Did they also
I don't really.
do well in
Yeah,
January as well?
yeah, I think they did win January as well. And I don't really care for this. Other than I think the only interesting thing to take from this is that they won one of the weeks or whatever. They won Europe, didn't they? They sold more in Europe, and Xbox has never. That's what they said. Has never outsold in Europe. It's outsold in the States, but it's never outdone PlayStation in Europe, and it outdone PlayStation in Europe.
Yeah.
So that I think that's the massive. That's a massive sort of wow factor, I think, to the whole thing, which just goes to show that Xbox is now starting to make a move when
Sorry.
they take Europe for the first time ever.
They won
What's that?
February, but PlayStation won January for
Oh,
NPDs,
okay.
for console sales. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was right about that.
So it's 1-for-1 at the moment.
I mean, they've won a few. They've won a few around that for Microsoft and within the last year and a bit that the consoles have been out. So, I mean, it's not last generation, and people keep forgetting that. It's not a rinse and repeat, and the old narratives aren't going to work anymore. The console rubbish crap isn't going to work anymore. People are more about. I'm more about playing games and enjoying myself rather than, oh, my plastic box is winning. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, it's the Switch obviously is doing very well. That's on a completely different trajectory to
Oh, it's so, yeah.
is the PS5 and the series consoles. And that's sort of Nintendo's thing, is that their generations are sort of completely opposite to these. So, they're going from a stronger to stronger. They usually do, so that's good for them. But yeah, it is interesting to see that Xbox is having a couple of little wins here and there. It just shows that people are looking at it. And look, at the end of the day, it's not an arguing point. Who cares if they won? Oh, my box sold better than yours. Who cares? But it is good. It just shows that the general population, people that aren't on Twitter all day, are looking at these consoles, whether they're seeing the ads through TV, radio, on the internet, through YouTube, things like that. The people are clearly seeing it. They're clearly looking at the price of these consoles, what you get for them, the dollar value that you get.
Yep.
And are buying it. And that's it just shows you in these things that it shouldn't be used as a weapon, these kind of, bits and pieces, but what it should show you is just how well the consoles are doing, which regions are selling or buying them, and that gaming is good for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about some of those fanboy things because it's funny to take the piss about some of their comments and so on and so forth.
Piss.
Take the piss. But Try Hard Fan, I do agree. Like it, that it will be really nice to get to a point where console sales don't matter anymore, and we can just talk about the whole reason why we do this, the games, and then we can just have. It's never going to happen. There's no one's enough to be an adult and actually have a realistic conversation. But we can dream, right? I mean,
I think the problem is I don't think it'll ever go away, because what will happen, this is what happened with 360 times, is that eventually Xbox will then start beating PlayStation on sales. So that narrative will go.
The pendulum swings, eh?
And then Xbox games will start rating better. So that narrative will go. So then those people will then switch to Xbox, and then they'll carry on the argument, but from the Xbox side. That's what will happen.
I'm just so.
And I think that's what happened with 360.
I don't.
They used to go on
toxicity.
You won't get rid of it. It won't happen, because until these people, I don't know, get older, possibly, or I don't know. I think some people just need to have that edge or something. They need something, and just be honest, social media is to blame for that. It gives people a voice where they would normally wouldn't have a voice.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So I think social media's. I think until social media collapses, which would be great if it does. Yeah, it'll go on forever, and I think it'll only get worse because there's more and more social media and more freedom of speech to just be toxic unless that gets clamped. That's what you have to do is clamp down on toxicity.
I mean,
But how you can do that?
let's put things in perspective, guys. We're complaining about sales and plastic boxes and all this other absolute rubbish. And right now, Ukraine is in like the shit, guys. So to put it in perspective, grow up and just be adults for once. And I don't know, I guess I'm too reasonable and logical around that, and I actually think that people are generally decent, but that's because I live in New Zealand and most New Zealanders are pretty decent. So I have to really put myself in perspective and go, the rest of the world is just crazy. Except Australia is perfectly fine like us. I'll just say that because Ashtray's in here and he can hear me. No, I'm kidding.
Shut up,
Sorry, I
mate.
was off mowing the lawns.
I knew you would be. The moment I start talking,
I just wanted-
I
just actually wanted to cover-
simulator.
I just wanted to cover what Dauntless Dragon Next said. He said the cap is real for Starfield. Yeah,
Do
why
you
wouldn't you?
understand what that means?
Yeah, no. But I don't get why you wouldn't want to be hyped for Starfield. I just don't get it.
A new IP from Bethesda and how long? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And the game looks
Especially with
fantastic.
the
It's sounding
scope.
fantastic. Yeah, the scope of it. It's. I
Scope.
mean, remember the hype for No
Graphics,
Man's
yeah.
Sky, and it looked like Minecraft. So now, yeah, we've got a No Man's Sky game that's going to look like a proper game, that like something semi decent in the way it's sort of.
Looking at that
Yeah,
from the other
it's-
side, Ghost of Tsushima, when it came, like before it came out, it was a brand new IP from
Yeah.
Sucker Punch, right? And so they, I mean,
Great game.
people were hyping that. It's a good game, yeah. People were hyping that and camping for that. And it's like, once the game came out, it was founded that they were right to do that. And I think we just need to remind ourselves that, I mean, the game isn't out yet. We still got more stuff to see on it. But it's coming out later this year, and I think it's going to be founded in reality. And I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Totally hits all the stuff I want.
Ghost of Tsushima or was it Sekiro? What's best?
I
They're
haven't
completely
played
different
Sekiro because it's a Souls-like game. So
Yeah, it is more like
the only
I
Souls
know I
game
don't
I've
like Souls
played
games.
is Elden Ring, and that's it. It's the only one.
Yeah, that's the only one I played, and I didn't like it. It was trash. 97% trash.
All right. Well, I think
And it's not even PlayStation exclusive. Look, you're allowed to say other games are rubbish. They're
Apparently
opinions, people. Yeah, your opinions, people.
Yeah, freedom of speech, guys. But sometimes freedom of speech means freedom of stupidity as well, apparently.
Yeah.
But I just want to say thanks to everyone who has stuck with us for today, and appreciate it. Hit that like button. Put in the chat that Elite's fraud.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I definitely do. And yeah, I think we're ready to do some outros. Any other topics we want to talk about? Any other topics you guys want us to talk about in chat?
Any topics, people? Quick, go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on.
Nah, okay.
About
don't think
anyone
so.
want to mention about Red Dead Panda's gameplay?
What are you doing, Elite? You don't even have gameplay.
Yeah,
Jelly.
well, if we have to play some games and record it, and then we got some gameplay of all of us playing.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Or I'll just send you my CFEs when we played with who do we play with?
No
Risk
idea.
It. Do we play with
Would've-
Risk It?
No idea.
And then Astray just blew off and he vanished because he's, I don't know, he had to comb his hair or something. So we played CFEs.
Yeah.
You know me. I just I pike. I'm a piker. I just
Yeah.
I gotta get my beauty sleep.
Yeah.
I'll send you some gameplay.
Well,
Right, so I think we're done here.
yeah, we are.
um,
Let's do some outro.
Thank you all guys for watching. We've got 12 likes, which is fantastic for us. We've
Beautiful.
had another good show.
Fantastic indeed.
Those 12 likes are not for
Fantastico.
you, Elite. They're for Ashtray and I. Just saying.
Oh, Red, you've only said rubbish 7 times, or you need to say it 7 more times?
Only
Just say it 7 more times, and that covers you.
No.
Go on. Do 7 on the trot. Do 7 quick
It
rubbishes.
feels awful when it's forced. It has to come out naturally.
Forced. Yeah, forced.
Oh.
Shit.
Just like
This
you was forced to
harassment, guys.
get Game
I'm
Pass. You was
gonna
forced.
do a harassment lawsuit as a result. You're just harassing.
Yeah, they forced me to say rubbish 7 times.
Yeah, they forced it.
And then me and Ashtray would pay you off.
How dare you?
Anyway, where can we find you, Ashtray? Before we head out, where can we find you?
Twitter,
Funny as
Xbox, PlayStation, YouTube, all under Ashtray Gaming, Trey. I'm sure most of you know where to find me.
I do.
Always lurking around somewhere.
Yep.
At some
I
point
like to
in
watch him
time.
sleep.
Over the rainbow. Yep.
I once hacked into his laptop while it was on his desktop, on his desk side, and was watching him at night.
Trash.
I was like,
Well, this didn't take a creepy turn or anything.
Yeah, no. Elite, where can we find you? Moving this along.
you can find me here, right here, right now. You can find me here
Playing
on
Conan.
this YouTube channel. Yeah, or playing Conan, or playing Hunt Showdown. There's no one playing Hunt Showdown, you frauds. It's made by Crytek, for Christ's sake, who made Rise Son of Rome. It's not
Crisis
it's not
games.
nobody's.
I have other
Shit.
games to play because I have to get
Pass.
ready to play Hogwarts on PS5.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm playing nothing now to Hogwarts.
I've got to get through all my games on Game Pass so I can play Hogwarts Legacy exclusively on PlayStation 5.
I just can't wait to see that come to Game Pass. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, honestly, some people are so out of touch. But thanks to the chat, you're amazing as always. I will say rubbish more next week for you guys, and appreciate that you guys love the show. You guys really help keep our energy levels up and the banter going. And it's always great that you guys join us every week. Love it. But yeah, I've said it one more time for you. Fuck you. So there you go. Fuck you. Said it one more time. Thanks as always. Hit that like button, share it out, sub, and you find me wherever you find me. And maybe come join us for a community gaming night for Australia and New Zealand at some point.
Yeah, when's the next community gaming night?
You're not invited, Elite. You're a fraud.
What? I'll just wait for you to go online and just join your group. Sometimes do.
I'm going to make it invite only. I'm gonna